Hello and welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you are moving into living your best life. We want to thank every single person that supports us on our Patreon and our PayPal accounts. We would not be able to do this show without you. I can't even speak. I'm so excited. We really do appreciate you for helping us to pay our bills, pay our researchers, and pay our, film and editing team. Love you guys. What? So thank you so much for everyone who also just sends us their good wishes, their prayers, their commentary, and everyone who likes and comments on these videos. Don't forget to subscribe to both the Dr. Mumbi Show and the Dr. Mumbi Live so that you never miss an episode. Now, actually, I have some pretty just pressing news coming out of Lebanon, where hundreds of Ethiopian maids have actually been dumped at the embassy at the Ethiopian embassy in Beirut, with no solution, nothing. They were just dumped with their luggage, and we saw some of the women were even forced to sleep there with no alternative or idea whether they were going to go home. Some of the women were actually interviewed by mainstream media like the BBC, etc., and they were saying, listen, Madam didn't find us on the streets, she didn't collect us from the streets. She can't just dump us on the streets. But what's actually happening behind the scene is quite shocking. Is Lebanon's economy is actually on the verge of collapse, and I think COVID-19 was like the feather that broke the camel's back, and a lot of the middle class families are the ones who had gotten these cheap maids or cheap labor from Ethiopia, even though the government of Ethiopia actually banned, all Ethiopians from traveling to Lebanon and working in Lebanon. Now, the government had actually organized a flight, and I think some of the women who worked in Lebanon had actually paid, I think, a minimal fee, but later on that flight was cancelled. But now they're saying that a lot of the middle class just can't afford to have their maids. They can't even afford to feed them. And so a lot of them are using this coronavirus thing to just, literally dump them on the streets in front of the Ethiopian embassy. They just say they can no longer afford to pay for their domestic maids. And this is just the beginning. It's happening in Lebanon. But we're going to see the entire matrix of the world is totally changed forever. And, one of the major repercussions or whatever you want to call it about the lockdown is a lot of economies are going to be collapsing across the world. Some African countries have actually managed to somehow, play the balancing game. We're praying that many make it. But Lebanon is just a sign of times to come. And so, beloveds, if I know there's a lady who reached out to me and she was like, she saw my show and she decided not to travel. I don't think she was going to Dubai or wherever. But, beloveds, this is not the time to leave the motherland, the mothership, Africa. This is not the time. People don't have money. You'll just be, if anyone is offering you any grand deal in this time, just know the whole world has been leveled by this pandemic and everyone is just kind of dealing with their own issues. So you're better off at home. Please. And if you want to, the best thing is look at testimonials, just put YouTube testimonials of maids who went to Lebanon and see some of the shocking stories because you're putting your life in such danger. And I really do hope that the Ethiopian government will reschedule the flight that was supposed to take our sisters out of Lebanon very, very soon. But we will be keeping a close eye on this story and we will be sharing more as soon as it comes in. Until next time, beloved. Tuko pamoja. Hello and welcome to Africa Watch on the Dr. Mumbi Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki. How you guys doing? How's everything going? So many exciting things happening this week on the continent of Africa. We are just so overjoyed and happy and excited and all that stuff. We're happy. We're happy. Thank you to every single person who has subscribed to the channel. Thanks to every single person that is supporting us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to like and share the videos. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks to every single person who has donated through our PayPal account. I have been sending all of you individual messages. Feel free to respond. I appreciate you so much. Because of you, we have been able to upgrade our security and release a show more often. So great things are coming, especially we're excited about everything that's happening because so many things are happening on the continent that we might even have to start, increasing the frequency of the shows, but maybe those are 2019 manenos, as we say. Manenos basically means like things in Kiswahili. Anyway, so exciting things happening in Ethiopia. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that this Ethiopian prime minister is awesome. Abiy Ahmed, he's doing amazing things. What? So, he has revoked some land, and I'll be getting into that shortly. But the other big news that he has done is he has actually, so he created his cabinet, his ministers, etc. 50% of them are women, and he did that because he believed that not only does he need to start changing the psyche and kind of idea of women in his nation, but he also stressed that he hired 50% of women to his cabinet because he believed the women were more honest, more hardworking, and less corrupt. Hey, those are the words from the Prime Minister, not from me, so don't be saying I'm biased, but I was just like, yes! So amazing, because he was just like, we need to start changing the psyche of men in Africa, basically, and men in his nation, to start seeing that women are just as capable to lead. And you know what? This is really exciting, because when we hear about, we're in the end time dispensation, this show is prophetic, so I really do talk a lot about this. It has always been said that the Most High would raise an army of women, and women would be at the forefront of this end time dispensation. So this is absolutely amazing, amazing, amazing stuff. But anyway, that is not what has brought us here today. He actually took some land back. So the Ethiopian Prime Minister has taken back 412.6 hectares of land which were held by investors. 95 individuals and businesses were affected, and it included for Ethiopian-born Saudi billionaire Mohammed Hussein Al Amoudi. He had 55 companies associated with with Midrock, and Midrock is basically the Mohammed International Development Resource Organization. And the reason this land was reclaimed is because these guys had been given special deals all the way back in like 2005. So they'd been given special contracts to develop shopping centers, to develop different kinds of industries, hotels, businesses, media centers in the heart of Addis Ababa. But what they did is they just fenced the different pieces of land and never did anything with it since 2005. And so, Addis Ababa has 4 million residents, and these plots, which are in real prime locations, have not been used. And the agreement was that not only would they create these industries, but they'd create jobs for the at least some of the 4 million youth living in Addis Ababa. It never happened. And so the government took it back. This is awesome. Now, 19 Ethiopian government agencies were also affected. That's ironic. 18 companies which were related to African diplomats or foreign African governments, and also had their licenses revoked. And but the hardest hit was this, Saudi-born. He's not even a prince. He's just a billionaire Saudi, Ethiopian-born Saudi. He had been given 33,000 square feet in the heart of Addis to build a city center, and it never happened. So this is really exciting, and this just shows you that, things are happening on the continent. Things are happening. And we must remember that, the reason Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed actually came into power was because of this land issue. It was because of not just in Addis, but in the country. It was partly because he represents the biggest tribe in Ethiopia, the Oromo, and they have been politically and economically disadvantaged for way too long. And also, he wanted to now sort out this land issue and a lot of the discrimination that had been happening. And that was his mandate. And he, since April, he's been doing things.